why my head's gone purple.
I don't know, but it fits.
Hello and welcome to the UK Surf Show, a podcast about surfing in the UK. I am your host, Pete.
And I'm Leighton. On today's show, we're going to be talking about what to do when there is no surf, which we've got quite a lot of experience of.
We've got quite a lot of experience of that. We were supposed to be having a guest on today, but unfortunately, circumstances have changed, and that is now going to be at a later date. So
our next one, isn't it?
Yeah, it should be our next one, yeah. As Leighton said, we will be talking about what to do when there's no surf, and we've had quite a few questions come in from social media, so we'll go through them as well. And
well, yeah, basically, what do you do when there's no surf?
When there's no surf, I either go skateboarding.
Yep.
Playing with guitar.
Yeah, but it's your skateboarding scene is your thing, isn't it?
And spend the rest of the time looking at the surf forecast.
Praying
that something good's going to happen. I mean, in all fairness, there's been no surf this last week.
It's been... The last time there was surf was the last time we surfed in Saunter, which was like 3 weeks ago. Annoying thing is, there's been lots of offshore wind and no swell. I've noticed like surfers have been saying that on social media. That looks really frustrating.
Yeah, there's that. There's also the fact there's been places you can surf if you're willing to travel. I've seen some of the south coast people have still been having a few waves here and there, but nothing majorly big or anything. No.
What we need is that seaweed in the film Blue Juice and start chanting. Makahiki. It's coming.
It's coming, yeah. Everyone hopes it's coming. So... What do you do when there's no surf?
I exercise, really.
He says I exercise, really. He exercises religiously.
Yeah.
It's like sitting in a room with Thor.
I do. Yeah, so I just do a lot of exercise to kind of take up your energy, really. I do a little. I don't do skateboarding like you do. Like I got a longboard. I go out with my two boys on the longboards. It's the only way you can get away with skateboarding at 40 with kids.
It's not. You can skateboard at 40.
Look at Tony Hawk.
Yeah,
but if you're not very good,
50 something.
You're not very good like me, then it's going to be...
Well, there is that.
I've always just looked like some...
weird old dude following kids around the prom.
Yeah, trying to skate.
Yeah. So... there's a lot of people saying that's a question I get asked quite a bit. Oh, if you can skateboard, can you surf? Or if you can snowboard, can you surf? As someone that's tried all three of them, the simple answer to that is no. They're all completely different. Yeah. Everything you do, even though the movements look similar, everything's different. When you're on a snowboard, your weight's more to the back. When you're on a skateboard, your weight's more central. When you're surfing, you're slightly crouched and more sort of forwards.
Yeah, you got the centre of gravity is different.
Yeah, centre of gravity is different. All of them.
The thing that we found about snowboarding, it was wherever you looked, you moved, didn't you? The board went that way, which was found really strange. Like if you remember the instructors telling us, if you turn around and look at the slope, the board will turn sideways and you'll stop.
Yeah.
And that's really strange.
It does. The same sort of thing with surfing, though. Which way you turn your head, you look that way. I think because it's a different type of movement and it's not fixed to your feet, you don't feel it the same. But even though you get that same thing, if you want to go left, you look left and you go in that way. If you want to go right, you look right and you're going that way. We
just bought I've just ordered a surf skate for my youngest son, so that's going to be interesting. Have a go on that. Always want to have a go on a surf skate.
Surf skate. You have to explain that to some people.
Okay, so surf skate is like a skateboard, but the trucks, which are the part that the wheels connect to, they're a bit more flexible, and so you can make large carves and tight turns, really. You're not really doing any tricks on them other than carving. So, yeah, it's meant to be surfing for the land, isn't it? On the land.
Yeah. yeah, so most of the time when there's no surf, going back to that, there's you exercise.
Yeah, surf films, surf books.
Surf films, books, yeah. What's your favourite surf film first? Surf book? Tell us. Let us know. Get in contact with us and ask us questions.
It's difficult on that one.
What, favourite surf film?
Yeah.
You're on about mainstream films, though, aren't you? Not like
the
surf shop.
Yeah,
surf
like a Hollywood film, not like as in seeing Kelly Slater doing a set in, like a skateboard film would be.
Yeah,
it'd be like an actual mainstream film. So I watched the other day. I watched Blue Juice for the first time in years, and it's like we said on the other podcast. It's there's no surfing in it, but it's such a good film.
JC's gonna surf the boneyard.
Yeah, it's such a good film.
Yeah.
And then there's like the main Point Break, which I think every surfer loves. Point Break,
not the remake.
I didn't know.
People are just tuning out now. They're going, no, not the remake.
I was quite surprised because we really liked Point Break, and I didn't hate the new one. So I kind of think that might have been a bit of success for that film, because there'll be a lot of die-hard people who loved the original Point Break. Like Bodie is the original Bodie, like Patrick Swayze, is probably the reason why I tried surfing. Yeah. So I still want to be him now.
I still can't believe you just said you like the remake of Point Break.
I didn't say I liked it. I said I didn't hate it.
This is coming from the guy who went to watch Superman and said there was too much alien shit in it.
Well, yeah. Well, I know he's an alien.
Well, it's like saying there's too much fighting in Rocky.
You just you don't want to see the alien stuff. You want to see him saving normal people, like in New York or wherever it is.
Anyway, if you're talking mainstream surf films, you cannot beat, what's it called? North Shore.
I also watched that on the weekend as well.
Shagged in a mother cousin, I can find a brother.
Yeah. So Turtle in that, who's also in Point Break.
Yeah,
he is a surfer that can act rather than an actor that can surf. Apparently.
Oh,
interesting fact for you. That's
changed everyone's lives out there. I hope that's
profound.
Done something really good for you.
Yeah. Well, what's the other? Well, what we used to do when there was no surf was back in the day, which was a Wednesday. We
big Wednesday, man.
Me and Pete, we used to own and run a extreme sports review website. So when we've mentioned before that we haven't surfed that much over the last 20 years, is because we were also doing lots of other extreme sports. I know surfing's not really it is classed as extreme sport, but it's not, as it's an alternative sport.
Yeah,
but it was in the same group.
Same thing as people in the skateboard industry don't like
extreme,
skateboarding being called an extreme sport.
Yeah, because they kicked off about it being in, because the X Games was the Extreme Games, and they changed it to the X Games.
Yeah, if you want to start a conversation, start talking to the skateboarders about skateboarding being in the Olympics.
Surfing's in it now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's messy. But yeah, as Leighton was saying, we did lots of different things in that: climbing, caving, skydiving, bungee jumping, all sorts of different things there, which kept us busy, kept us something to do. I mean, we looked at the time and there was nothing out there. There was no websites that were reviewing extreme sports or anything like that and letting you know where you could go, what you could do. So we started doing one. It became too much effort to run in the end, because obviously we had families and jobs as well, and trying to run a website with God knows how many pages,
150 plus pages,
a super site in the end, and it was just too much. But from then, I think we just sort of filtered out into surfing was one of the main things we really loved doing.
Well, we just ended up sticking with a few things out of all the extreme sports we tried. We just stuck with a few things. Like, you were always a skateboarder anyway, weren't you? So that's stuck with you.
I've been a skateboarder since the late 80s, man, because I'm so old.
And we stuck with climbing for a bit, but everything's always come back round to surfing, hasn't it? Like, surfing's been the one thing that we tried when we were younger. Obviously loved it. Couldn't go that much because when you're that young, you haven't got a vehicle, and we don't live by a surf break. And then the website kind of brought us back to it in a way, didn't it?
Yeah.
And then we were too busy to surf, ironically. So, and then when the website died a death, which it did because it was too much work and we couldn't put the hours it required in.
It wasn't just that, it was social media, wasn't it, as well? Social media kicked in and social media blew up more than anyone, I think, thought was going to happen. Nobody could see that coming.
No. So the website kind of died a death. But we did get the opportunity to speak to a TV producer at one point, didn't we?
Yeah, that was fun. I'm sure he just nicked our idea and made a TV show.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that happened as well. But yeah, we did speak to somebody really excited when you think, oh my God, I'm going to get to quit my day job and do...
Imagine that now, someone said to you, right, you can quit your day job and all you've got to do now is just talk about surfing.
Yeah, that's not going to happen, is it?
No, I know, but use your imagination, man. Come on.
I know, it'd be amazing. Well, not just talk about it, if we could actually do it.
If you could actually do it,
that'd be nice.
If you're not allowed in the water, you could just...
Yeah.
My mate has said that. He's a skateboarder, and he said, I said, oh, why don't you come surfing? Try that out. I'd love to do surfing, but I don't want to get wet.
Yeah, kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah, doesn't it? Yeah, so, there's lots of things. I think that's a podcast we could go into at some point, some exercises for surfing,
Yeah. Well, I've mentioned before that the yoga's really helped me recently, but just your general aerobic fitness, like the paddling in surf, just kills you, doesn't it? You need to... Once you get a good level of aerobic fitness, it's almost like your body knows how to conserve energy, and that's what we're trying to do. Like we've mentioned before, you're trying to get out to the back of the lineup whilst conserving as much energy as possible. And you're basically, when you're popping up, you're just doing burpees, aren't you? The whole time.
Yeah.
And you've mentioned before, like swimming has helped you keeping up your fitness for it.
Yeah, swimming's massive. I was chatting to someone the other day, and I've got another friend who surfs, and he goes swimming, and we were talking about his ability in the waves, and he's a really good swimmer, and he catches...
I think he's wet more than he's dry.
He catches everything.
Yeah, I know, yeah. With ease.
Just literally, he every single wave he catches, and it's effortless. I think it's just that paddle strength, and, that's the thing that everyone wants to get to. But I think swimming...
And the fact that he's got gills.
Yeah, skills helps. Swimming helps massively. As I said before, I noticed so much difference in my paddle strength just from doing a few months of swimming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as we said, we were supposed to have a interview today, which hasn't happened, but it's going to happen in a future episode. We're hoping it'll be next week or the week after. We're going to try and get these podcasts out. At least we're going to go for at least once a month.
But
the way things are going...
Yeah, well, I'd just like to say thank you, everybody that's listened, really, because the feedback we've had, and it's just kind of blown up really quickly, isn't it? And we've got so many interviews that we might actually be able to, without exhausting all of our interviews in one go and getting too excited, we might do it every fortnight, so every 2 weeks. And what we're trying to do it on a Monday, aren't we?
Yeah, we were going to go for the first Monday every month to get these out there. We might. So the best thing you can do is now we are on Apple iTunes and we're on Spotify, and you can find us at Acast. A few other ones out there, is if you subscribe to our podcast, and then it'll notify you when a new episode comes out. We're going to try and do one every month. Well, we will get one out every month on the first Monday of every month, but we might get one out in between that as well, fortnightly, if we can.
Yeah,
it'll depend on if we've got anything to speak about that's going to interest anybody or not. We'll still speak about it anyway, to be fair. And it'll also be, if we've got other interviews, we'll try and slip them in there.
Yeah.
And as we say, if you could contact us, social media, we're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and also you can email us at the UK Surf Show @gmail.com.
Yeah, that's the one.
Any questions, anything?
Yeah, which people have been sending, haven't they?
Yeah, we've got some questions here. So we've got a question. Well, we've got two questions the same, very similar. So I'll say...
From the same person?
No, two different people. we'll go with this one though. So from Dan H, and he says, what to look for when you are buying a wetsuit for the first time?
Yeah, so we kind of think it's bloody cold in the UK, isn't it? So it's probably
depends
just
if you want summer or winter wetsuit, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah, but it's still cold in the summer. So I think I'd just buy a winter wetsuit. I'd just buy a 5'4" wetsuit.
Or what, for the summer as well?
Yeah, that's all I do. 5'4", and then in the winter you add your boots, your gloves, and your hood. And then in the summer you don't wear those things.
See, I wouldn't go that way. I'd buy 2 wetsuits. I'd buy a winter wetsuit and a summer wetsuit. No, I'm not. That's the problem. I bought a winter.
I'm tight and you're not.
That's better. You are tight and I'm not. It's the. I don't know. I bought a winter wetsuit with a built-in hood. I regret buying a built-in hood. I wish I'd bought one with
detachable,
or I've got a rash vest with a hood built in, and I find that better because you have the option then. I would personally say a 5'4" for the winter and maybe a 3mm for the summer, but your 3mm in the summer is going to be between April, May till...
It's probably later than that, actually.
Might be later than that, till about October.
Yeah, it's probably going to be
October.
June to October, really, isn't it?
Yeah, but, you probably get about 6 months out of each of them. But I wear an old winter wetsuit as my summer suit now.
Yeah,
because,
that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's my old winter suit is now my summer suit. Thing is, like Leighton just said, buying a winter suit makes more sense. 1, you get better waves in the winter. 2, it's quieter in the winter surfing than it is in the summer, unless you know some secret spot where you're going to surf and there's going to be no one there. So there's a lot there. If you start Googling wetsuits, there's a lot of information out there. There's every single wetsuit company has different size guides as well. So don't just go, oh, I'm a large wetsuit, I'll just buy a large. Because you'll buy a large from one and it'll fit, and you'll buy a large from somewhere else and they'll have a different size guide. Yeah,
they all. Also, should we? I'm going to mention the brands. So we're not paid or anything from any brands, but when I was researching the wetsuits to buy, there was the 2 that kept coming up from other surfers and from people in surf shops were the 2 that we ended up buying. The one that you got, the one that I got. So I've got the Rip Curl Flash Bomb.
You're going to ask me what I've got? I can't remember.
Yeah, yours is the Psycho.
O'Neill Psycho Tech or something like that. Psycho Freak, I can't remember, something like that.
And they were the 2 that kept coming up. They seem to be like the consistent. Like there's lots of different types of those.
I know the Tiki one's supposed to be very good as well.
Yeah, because you were going to buy that.
Yeah, I very nearly bought that. Yeah,
but you're then looking if you're going to take surfing seriously and you're going to go regular, then it's worth spending the extra to get a suit that's going to last you longer. You'll end up saving money, and I'm tight, so
you
need to save money. So I can't remember how much it was now. I think it was about £400, $399.
Yeah,
the pound makes a difference.
That's the pound that made him buy it. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So buying a wetsuit is purely when are you going to surf? Are you going to be surfing in the summer? Are you going to be surfing in the winter? If you're surfing all year round, you're probably going to need 2 wetsuits realistically. You can get a winter suit and use it in the summer, but if it gets hot out there and you're surfing don't forget, we surf evenings or mornings.
Last time we went, actually, and I was wearing my winter suit, I just refused to spend more money on another suit. I had to keep flushing the suit, so you jump in the water and you pull the neck away from your neck to open up and let cool water in.
So what he's actually trying to say is he was too hot in his winter suit and he's too tight to buy another suit. So
yeah, that's it. But it's still not warm enough not to wear a wetsuit in the UK.
Yeah.
Like if you want to spend a good amount of time in the water,
you see some nutters going in though, don't you?
Yeah, and then you see them coming straight back out again.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Yeah. Right, so that sort of covers wetsuits.
Next
I also
question.
got a wants to remain anonymous, but are you ever too old to learn to surf?
No, definitely not. 100% never too old.
What, even like Zimmer?
No, I don't, as long as you're physically able to be. Otherwise, you can't just push someone in the water. Okay, there you go. But
you should have seen his face. I opened up a whole minefield then of things he could have said and would have got in so much trouble. So much backlash.
If you're physically able to walk, stand up from laying down, swim, then definitely it shouldn't be like an embarrassment thing.
No,
definitely not, because we've been surfing and some of the older guys in the water are the cool guys, aren't they? You know,
much better as well. Yeah,
because I now look at those people and think that's what I want to be like. I want to still be going. Like you get old.
You ain't that far off.
You get old because you stop. You don't. I can't remember which way around it goes.
Yeah, go on. You can do it.
You get old.
You can do it
because you stop. You don't stop because you get old.
Yeah, there something like that. Well done. Right, next question we've got from Joel Smith. Says, what is the most underrated UK surf spot?
Controversial, because there are some secret ones, so they're obviously
secrets.
Yeah, secrets.
Yeah, so we're not going to tell you where they are. I'd say, right, two things. I'd say this, because the UK is constantly changing the surf conditions. The most underrated spot would, one, be the spot you haven't found and haven't surfed yet, because once you find that spot, you'll be like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
On a general, I would say West Wales.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, probably.
I would say West Wales. I've been, last year, I went on holiday with my wife and the dog, most important. I went on holiday with the dog, actually, and my wife just came along. But
she's going to listen.
Never mind. And so gone down to West Wales, and we're driving down a road next to the sea in West Wales, and the water was just barreling next to us the whole distance of this road. It was an amazing sight to see. And there's some little places down there. The thing about West Wales, I think, it can be very, very flat, and if you went there on a normal day, you'd be like, well, what's he on about? If you hit West Wales in the right conditions, it's absolutely awesome.
Did you take your board on holiday?
Let's not talk about that. I wanted to take my board, but I didn't, because I thought, it's West Wales. There's not really any surf there, is there, from what I've seen of it? And I regretted it instantly.
Yeah, as with regards to Cornwall and Devon, though, I wouldn't really say there is an underrated spot. They've all got their benefits in some way. Because we actually quite like Westward Ho, don't we?
Well, yeah, you've got these are different types of waves and things you've got there, haven't you? Though you've got so if you go from, say you went from Westward Ho to Woolacombe, you've got
northbound, So
if you're coming down the country, you go from Woolacombe to Westward Ho. So you've got Woolacombe, Putsborough, Croyd, Saunton, Westward Ho. They're those main ones in that area. And
after that, the next bay you hit is Bude.
Yeah. So if you go in that order, the waves change along the way, and they're very different in each bay and each area there, and the people in each of those places are very different and very.
Yeah, what I like about Westward Ho is it's quite a safe surfing location. Like if you're going with kids,
I saw something posted today. Westward Ho, the safest place to surf.
Yeah, it's a very long, wide beach. Everybody's spread out. The waves don't they're not generally much different unless you're surfing right by the rocks. But generally
you get a long wave, don't you, on Westward Ho?
Yeah, and you can select wherever you want to go out, and you'll pretty much find a wave. So it's not like you're all crammed into one area of the beach.
It's a big long beach, isn't it? There's a big area.
Yeah.
It's extra salty. I always find Westward Ho. Everyone I say this to thinks I'm an idiot, and they just laugh at me. Every time I go surfing in Westward Ho, I get really bad salt burns around my neck on my wetsuit, and I always find it stings my eyes more. It's extra salty. I don't know why.
It's still the sea.
But it's not. I don't know what it is. Yeah, so that's like Westward Ho, and then you come back to it's on the same. There's an estuary in between, but it's on the same stretch there.
Yeah,
then you go to Saunton.
That's our go-to place, isn't it? Really?
Saunton's one of our go-tos. It's a lot. Saunton's a longboard wave, I'd say.
Yeah,
and
it's just everything seems a bit easier there. Like it's easier to get out, but if you catch it on, we've been out on like a washing machine day, and it was bloody lethal out there. It was impossible to get out there, and we were getting those what they call peaks when the waves are coming from two different directions and they kind of collide and make a peak, and you can actually try and surf the peak. But it was, I think I actually got seasick that day. It was that bad.
That was awful. That was, yeah. And then you go around the corner there. You've got round into Croyd. Croyd's one of those beaches that people go, oh yeah, go surfing at Croyd. Croyd will rip your face off it'll rip your face off, turn your eyeballs round and put them back in your head for you. I went to Croyd with a friend, Sam, and he used to live there and surf there all the time. And we got out, and as we got down, we went down, and as we got down to the water, he looked out and he's like, oh fuck, man, that is a bit big, isn't it? He paddled out on his shortboard, and I think I had like a 7.6 or something, which was far too big for the type of conditions it was.
Right.
He shot out through the waves, and I saw him get on a wave, look up, and it was probably like him and a half, so it was like 1.5 overhead.
Yeah, so like a 10-foot wave.
Yeah, something like that. And I seen the thing just literally just disintegrate on him. Yeah. It's just like,
it's apparently on so a lot of surf books I've read mention Croyd, and particularly at low tide it seems to be big at low tide.
It's that's
the thing with those
lethal
bays.
It's like Croyd's got like really strong rips and currents, and there's places to surf around there. There's people that surf around there. I mean, you look at Cotty, he surfed around there, and like he surfed some of the biggest waves in the world. And it's one of those places where the people that surf there are pretty gnarly. And you will know about it if you get in their way, because you'll probably get a surfboard to the face. That said, it's a lovely place.
It's a picturesque village, isn't it?
It is. Then you come back from there and you go around to Putsborough. Putsborough is better on high tide.
And that's there's nothing else there, is there? It's the car park.
There's a car park and that's it. And a cafe.
Yeah, is there a cafe?
Yeah, it's a cafe.
Oh, right. I've never been in a cafe.
Yeah, you don't go in it. It's too tight. It's too tight to buy any food. That's why I
do remember going in a cafe. Yeah. I refused to spend the money there and walk straight back out.
That's what I got. That's why I got stuck in a rip at Putsborough.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's when we were there on that really big day, struggling to get out there.
That's when my leash snapped.
Yeah, and there was those two young kids out there who were just ripping the waves up. They were incredible, almost laughing at the rest of the surfers because they were so good.
Putsborough's one of those places. It's slabby, I'd say. The waves quite chunky. Yeah, they're quite heavy waves there.
But on the same stretch,
lot of people,
Willicomb's on the same stretch, and it seems nothing like that, does it?
No, it seems very different. I think you've got the cliff edge next to you on there though. So it, either shelters you from the wind or changes the direction of the waves slightly, but there's definitely a difference. And I've seen a hell of a lot of more accidents at Putsborough than that. Like one of the last times we were there, that guy came off his board, came back up and like bleeding everywhere, wasn't he? Where it's come back and smacked him in the face.
Rite of passage, to have a board in the face.
Board in the face. My mate dislocated his knee there at Putsborough.
Lovely.
I got stuck in a rip. My leash has snapped.
I didn't buy any food in there.
You didn't buy any food anywhere you go.
In the cafe. Yeah. And then so just on the same stretch of coastline as Willicombe, and that is, I don't know, just a very normal kind of wave.
It's a traditional seaside town.
Isn't it? But it's the vibe around there because of how the bay's set, and you've got the world famous Red Barn where everybody goes in. Like there's nothing quite like driving down there in your van, parking up on the coastline, going into the Red Barn after your surf or whatever. It's the whole thing is just really nice. All the old surfboards on the wall and stuff.
I remember going back there in when did we 80s, 90s? It must have been early 90s when it was like a little cafe place, and they used to have the foosball table and the pool table and the surfboards on the wall. And
I thought before somebody saw it as a lucrative surf
why
hangout.
are you not making thousands of pounds a year? Just like,
but that stays open. That's like all year round, that place now, and you can go there and there's live music on and stuff. So all this kind of stuff is what comes back to what I said from the start. This is what you do when there's no surf.
Yeah,
and hopefully now you've got an extra thing to do when there's no surf, which is listen to us.
Listen to us talk nonsense about nonsense.
Yeah. Next question.
Yeah, next question. Right, so that covers a bit of like the areas of where we sort of go and like that. You know, our local places. We'll talk about others as we go along and other places.
You can't really say there's an underrated spot, really, is there? Because everywhere is different and it has the same advantages and disadvantages.
Definitely. And then we've got from Ryan Burns, thoughts on board selection for the UK, ideally Cornwall, for someone moving from beginner to advanced, average height, average weight.
Yeah, okay, so what we call an average height and weight, like 5'9", 5'10", average weight, what, like 12?
I don't think you have to go to the direct details.
Okay, I'm trying to picture the guy. Well, we've kind of thought, haven't we, that, and I've heard this before from other surfers and shapers as well, that you probably own, like a lot of surfers want like a whole quiver of boards, and really you only need 2.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah, so you want
two, maybe 3, because I'd say 2, but the third is an option.
Yeah, so the 2 that you want in your arsenal is like a longboard, which is going to be, you know, what we're saying, like 9 foot plus.
Yeah, 8-9 foot plus.
Just so basically, the bigger the board, the more buoyant it is, the more waves you're going to catch when they're not very powerful. So, and there's a lot of days like that in the UK. So,
yeah, you look at a guy we're going to talk to at some point soon. Rich Surfing Chef is on Instagram. Look him up, and he surfs a big monster 11-foot board, something like that, and he goes out in everything.
Yeah, he could catch a ripple.
Yeah,
that's good. I'd love a board like that.
But he goes out in like big waves as well with that thing.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully we'll talk to him at some point.
And what is the other board that we think? So a long board, 9 foot plus, not a foamy. No. So if you're moving from a beginner upwards, you're going to want like a. You don't want to spend the. Obviously, I'm coming from the tight aspect.
I did something like I bought a shaped board. No, I bought a talk board.
Yeah, well, I was about to say talk at the moment are really good, aren't they?
Yeah, talk board. They are. You know, I think I paid for about 350, 400 quid for mine, brand new.
I think the new longboard that they've got out. I think it's a 9.6, and I think that's about 450 quid.
400 quid
absolute bargain.
Like that. Yeah, great boards to learn on, great to advance on as well. Feel nice. They move nice through the water.
Yeah, super light, super buoyant.
Yeah.
And then we were talking earlier, weren't we, about the other board? And you mentioned
the 2 boards. So you'd say a long board and a short board. It also depends a lot on what sort of things you want to surf and how you want to surf. So I myself, I've got no interest in surfing short boards.
No, me neither.
I've tried shortboard surfing. I can do it, but I'm not very good at it. I'm not the type of person that's going to be whipping and turning and flipping and everything.
We're using surfing as a bit of a meditation retreat, aren't we? Which we are talking to someone soon about that kind of thing, aren't we?
Yeah.
About the mindfulness side.
Yeah, the mindfulness. That was the one that was supposed to be today. Unfortunately, has had to be moved, but we will get that to you as soon as possible. Longboard, shortboards, and.
But what was the second? What was the shorter board that you were talking about earlier? Was it
a fish board?
Yeah.
So a fish board's like a short board, but it's got a thicker, wider surface area in the middle. It's more buoyant.
Yeah, some people call them fun boards, don't they?
Yeah, people call them fun boards, fish boards, and they're a lot of fun. They're a lot more manoeuvrable in the water, so you can be doing things like, you know, your twists and turns, like more aggressive, like a shortboard style,
but they're more buoyant
on a bigger, more buoyant board. So, you know, you've got 3 options of boards there. Really, there are loads of other boards in between. You know, there's not just those 3. It's a lot of it. If you want to get a different surfboard and your board selection in the UK, there's so many places there you can hire a board off of. And your best option is to go to one of those places, hire a different size board, and try some different sizes.
With some decent surf shops now by the coast, if you're genuinely interested in buying a board, they will let you take it out. I've heard them. Well, they've offered that to me before, and like they clearly don't know who I am because I don't spend money like that. So.
Excuse me, sir. I don't spend money here.
I'll take the board out if you like, but I'm not going to buy it.
You don't want to buy anything.
So if you find a board that you really like and you are genuinely interested and you can convey that to the owner of the shop, if they're any good, they'll let you take it out or let you try one the same size anyway.
Yeah. So I mean that's the gist of that really. It's personal preference. There's no good for me saying, oh, this is the board size you want if you're this weight and this height, because you might get on with a 5'9" and I might get on with a 8'9". You know,
but in general, it's two boards for the UK, isn't it? Like a long board.
Yeah.
9
if
foot
you want
plus.
if you want to be able to surf all the time in the UK, you need to be able to surf those two boards. Yeah. In my opinion, I don't know if that's the same in your opinion, but I think...
Well, I've never tried one of the fun boards. I want to because I'm quite a big bloke, so I'd like to try them because
girls just want to have fun.
Because I just want to try the fun board just to see if I can actually try and stand up on something that's less buoyant. Really.
Yeah. Cool. I think that was all the questions. There is another one. I'm going to just grab my phone because someone actually texted to me that I know. Because you
got friends.
Speak.
You got friends. You can't do that. Just ask me to speak. Just put me on the spot.
Speak. What do you think about life?
No. Find the question.
Yeah, the question is good equipment to start. What good brands of equipment to starting range for people?
In what do you mean? Like a wetsuit or?
So I think the question came from someone who was wondering, they want to get into surfing.
The type of make.
What's the best way to get into it, and what are the good brands to go for it to start with? Yeah,
well, like I said, my Ripco wetsuit is awesome. But before that, I had a seaskin wetsuit.
How long did you have the seaskin wetsuit?
I don't know, ages. I've still got it. I'm not going to throw the thing away. It's got holes all over it. But I use it for caving.
This is how tight he is. He bought a seaskin wetsuit. I think he was probably about 16 or something like that when he bought it, and just changed his wetsuit last year.
Yeah. I refused to eat so I could still stay into the original wetsuit.
Wetsuit choices are important. I went surfing with my wife and kids when they were younger, and they took the piss out of me something rotten because it was time I may have put on a pound or two since when I bought the wetsuit. May have. Well, when I put the wetsuit on, my head went red.
When you put the wetsuit on, you needed another one.
They were asking me why my head's gone purple.
I don't know, but it fits.
Yeah, so, make sure your wetsuit fits. That's one of the main ones.
But overall brands, you can't really say there's one, stick to this brand. They're all good, aren't they?
There's a lot of good brands. I think if you want to get started in it and you go to a good surf hire place anywhere around the coast of the UK, and they'll give you advice you need. They'll give you advice on, some of them only stock this, will say this is the best one because that's all they stock. But they'll give you advice on boards. They'll give you advice on that. As we said, boards. Talk boards are brilliant. Yeah. Talk boards are brilliant at the moment. They're I think they're one of the best around for general. If once you've got used to that and you know what you want to surf, then this is when people start moving into spending big money and getting their own shaped board by a professional shaper in the UK. Yeah. As regard to wetsuits, you start in wetsuits at, I'd say, a decent wetsuit around about the £100 mark.
No,
for
more than that, no.
Summer one.
Summer.
Yeah,
I
150.
don't look at the summer ones. So.
Yeah, and then you'd go up £400-500 for a decent winter wetsuit.
Yeah. But like you said before, the Tiki ones are really good.
Yeah, Tiki shop in Braunton. That's a really good place to look at.
And they're really reasonable as well, aren't they? I think what the winter suit was like.
The winter suit was like 250, 300, something like that. Yeah, 300. I can't remember. That was quite a decent one. Yeah, so that's a good one to go to look at. There's all sorts of places you can go and look, and there's
loads of accessories you can buy and make it more comfortable. Like North Core, isn't there?
North Core has loads of stuff, and dry robe as well. Dry robe for like getting changed.
How many
afterwards.
surfers now do you see wearing dry robes afterwards?
I got a dry robe last. Someone bought it. I think my mum bought it for me for Christmas because she loves me.
She doesn't want you to get cold.
No. And I got a dry robe, and that's a game changer. I mean, putting that on after you get out of the surf and it's freezing cold, and you can put that on round your wetsuit and then take your wetsuit off underneath the thing, and it's like being in a giant poncho with microfiber.
Well, the good thing about them is they're waterproof on the outside, so when it's raining,
and windproof. This thing's amazing.
Yeah, but I don't have one. I have a towel.
He's tight.
So when we've got it before and it's been really cold, it's been the like that would prise my wallet open. I think that you look really comfortable.
Yeah,
I'm stood in my builder's bucket with my wetsuit and the tiniest towel that you can find, because it's the microfiber ones, and the tinier ones are the cheaper ones. Yeah,
there's a lot of things that can make your life a lot more comfortable out there. Brand wise though, doesn't seem to be the same sort of thing as in other industries where this brand's really cool, it does go on, and I think probably a lot of younger kids still think, oh, this brand's cool, this brand's not.
Well, the good thing, there's not one brand that does everything, so it's not like you can go out like rip curls thrown up on you. It's not like you can get the wetsuit, the towel. Well, you probably can get the towel.
You probably
do you know what I mean?
You can mix and match through all of these.
Do they do boards? Rip curl do
probably,
boards?
I don't know. I never looked at buying one because they'd probably just add a 1 in front of whatever figure goes in front of it or something. You know, it's So brand wise, it doesn't really matter. There's so much variety, and there's a lot of UK based stuff out there that's really good as well.
And that's what we want to talk about, don't we? As well, like when we go on a future podcast, we want to talk to UK shapers, and like the small underground,
UK wetsuit
scene.
makers, UK surfboard makers, UK everything that we can and try and keep to the UK brand. So if you are listening to this and you have a UK brand and you want to talk to us about it, and you want us to know about it and let other people know about it, get in contact with us. Yeah,
definitely. We are definitely open to that, aren't we? And get some people on to talk about this kind of stuff more than what our knowledge is about it. Like expand our knowledge and everybody else's.
Teach and learn and teach. So if you want to come with us as we teach and learn, and we learn and teach, and then that's the place to do it. So as we said, look out for us on social media. We are on Instagram, we are on Facebook. We are on Twitter. We don't know how to use any of them properly, but we are on there.
YouTube,
we got YouTube, but I haven't sussed all that out yet. We will put the podcasts onto YouTube at some point. I keep reading, don't do it on YouTube, put it on YouTube, don't do it on YouTube. So it's a minefield of stuff at the moment. We might have to see. And then as we say, any questions, send us a message on any of those platforms, or send us an email directly to the uksurfshow@gmail.com.
And I just want to say what we mentioned. I just want to say thanks to everybody that's listened. It was kind of blown away with the response. I honestly didn't think this
We've had
would
quite
happen.
A few people listening, quite a few people messaging us.
Lots of people subscribing as well.
Yeah, people subscribing. So make sure you subscribe, and you'll hear when the next podcast comes out. And we will get those interviews as soon as possible, and you'll have someone else to listen to, not just two rambling fools.
That sounds good.
So, until next time, goodbye.
See you later.